Hey there, and welcome back to Hold and Modify. It's Q, host of YouTube's most poorly produced, underproduced channel. And today I'm going to be running a Mac on a Mac. And why on earth would you want to do that? Well, I have a couple of reasons, but really just one reason. This is kind of sort of a request video, so if you want to stick around, we're going to do something weird.
This computer will rule the world.
All right, I'm going to run through this pretty quickly, guys. So Sheep Shaver, right? Look at this. Here's the website. Oh, Sheep Shaver. I'm going to put all of these links in the description. So please check the description out. I hope I don't screw that up. But this is where you're going to get the actual emulator. And then from here, you're going to get the complete, instructions on how to install it step by step. I'm not going to go through all that. It's a pain in the butt. I read the tutorial carefully and figured it out. And you guys know me. If I can figure it out, you can definitely figure it out. You're going to use something like the Macintosh repository.org to grab the ROMs you're going to need, probably like an image of macOS to install. They recommend, I think it's 9.04 or something like that. I had to look this all up, guys. I don't know anything about PowerPC Mac. I did have a Graphite G4 edition PowerPC Mac back in the day. I used it for about a hot minute, then I went to PC. So why? Why do you want to run this thing? Well, let me show you why. We're going to bring it up here and look at this. It's going to fire right up. Look at macOS 9 firing up. PowerPC Mac. Yes, it's amazing. A Mac and a Mac. We're doing it. But check this out. You guys are familiar with Amaberry and WinUAE or FSUAE, but mostly Amaberry because that's what I talk about a lot lately. Yeah, and look at this. Like memory, whether you disable the CD-ROM drive, here's where you create your hard file, your virtual hard disk. Got some audio video settings here, pretty self-explanatory. There's just not a lot to worry about, guys. See this stuff here? Not a lot of options, really, to really think about. This is pretty basic emulator. It's a fairly young emulator, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot more going on with it. You will notice it does have the enable JIT, but according to the instructions, it does say that it doesn't work right now, and he's not sure if it's going to work. Now, you guys might know that with Amaberry, JIT was a problem for a while on ARM Mac, but he eventually figured it out, and he does have full JIT running on the Amiga emulator, so maybe this guy will be able to get this emulator working with JIT, or maybe it will work. I mean, I have it turned on, but according to his instructions, that will be ignored. It's hard for me to know if it's working or not because I don't really have a good idea about what these Macs can do. And I know a lot of people they're going to install the Mac, they're going to run Photoshop or video games, but you know me, I'm a 3D guy. So why would you want to install PowerPC Mac? Well, to run something like, Lightwave. And yeah, there was basically the very first version of Lightwave on Mac. They waited until the PowerPC version to do it. And that's what they needed. Like Apple basically skipped the 68,000 series Mac because it was just, as they learned from the Amiga, it just really couldn't handle it. It couldn't handle the amazing power and development in the software that they were pushing it towards. So they basically had to wait until Apple decided to switch their architecture over to this PowerPC. Commodore went away and that sucked. But we were left with Apple. So if you didn't want to go to Windows, you could come over to Apple from Amiga and you could have jumped right back into Lightwave where you left off on Amiga. Lightwave version 5.6 on PowerPC Mac here, guys. Look at that. That's Apple QuickDraw. That's not OpenGL that you're seeing right now, that cool looking funky spaceship here. OpenGL would come to Lightwave version 6. The issue right now, in addition to JIT being a big question mark with support, is OpenGL. So far, this Sheep Shaver PowerPC Mac emulator does not support OpenGL. You're limited to applications that use Apple's QuickDraw 3D, which was Apple's kind of version of OpenGL technology, the shaded technology. I know I'm butchering that. You guys can leave comments how I'm butchering that. Apple has their whole system, their entire garden that they used back then for all of their proprietary functions and commands and tools and things. But yeah, to simply say that, again, yeah, this is their version of OpenGL. And you had that ability. But that was Lightwave. So you could run Lightwave on your Mac, and that was a lot of fun. But what I wanted to try was, and this is the real reason why I installed this PowerPC version of Mac OS. Everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of you have been saying, Q, you've got to run Bryce. You've got to try Bryce out. You've been showing the Scenery Animator, the Vista Pro on the Amiga. There was a version of Vista Pro available for Windows, and I don't know if it ever did come out for Mac or not, but a lot of people on the Mac side around the same time, you're talking 1995, 96, 97. They were using Bryce. And Bryce wasn't just a landscape program. I believe it mostly started out as kind of, its focus was a landscape program, but eventually it turned into pretty quickly, a full 3D program. Like you could do lots of things with it. Spaceships and houses and animals and people and things like that. And then eventually with version 3, which is what we're using, the added animation. You got this little timeline down here and you could do actual animation. I don't know how to use the software though, guys. I was just gonna show it to you actually working. If you click this little button here, look at that. It spins in a circle. Isn't that neat? It's like a little 3D preview. That's cool. But this program is a very, very Apple, like, you know, skeuomorphic interface, right? Where buttons are like physical, real world looking kind of things, which is pretty neat. And I quickly just, as you can see, I lost my view. This is not a how to use Bryce. This is me. This is the first video of me launching my PowerPC Mac to then go, oh, this is Bryce. So I've never really used it. As you can see, I'm just fumbling around here, but I just wanted to see it launch and run to see if it would launch and run. And I thought, well, I should make a video and show the guys that yes, I have acknowledged those of you out there that have mentioned the whole Bryce thing. This is the early version of me experimenting with it. Oh, look, there's a render button. What happens? Oh, I mean, it renders. I guess that's why if you press the render button, that's what it's going to do. And as you can see, our terrain and sky gives you a little stat report there. That's kind of neat. I was trying to add like a sky, like one of the Bryce's things is like easy ways to do things with just these fun buttons up here that look like things. So let me, oh, look at that. There's a sky. What is this? This is materials. Oh, all right, this is materials. I'm assuming this is the materials for the little island we've created. So let me click on something so it's not just gray and boring. So there we go. We've done that. Look at that. This is a full like texture editor procedural thing here. So I'm assuming now it looks like maybe it's going to be clouds and some texture on that terrain now, right? Yeah, there. Well, look at that. That wasn't so hard. Already we have something a little nicer. We've got some clouds and a little floating island in the middle of nowhere. So if you guys are aware of this, you know, how fast a Mac should be, this is 100 megahertz G4 that's being emulated. So is JIT working? Is 19 seconds fast for whatever it is we're in? So now we've dropped some water on this island, this water plane. How do we edit that water? So we just added this water plane. So I want to take it down low because I don't want it to be floating above the island. That would obviously be ridiculous. Now this little down arrow is labeled land objects down. So I think that automatic, so if I put the water up in the sky up, so right now our water is floating over the island. If I press this button, it's going to drop it down until it touches, until it touches the first polygon. So if I lower it down a little more, it's just going to keep dropping it down until it touches the next polygon. That's neat. So we'll smash render on that. And now we should have our clouds and we should have some water. And that took 25 seconds at that resolution. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know if that means our emulator's smoking fast or if our emulator's really slow. I don't have any experience with this. So one of the things I would look at right away, right, is like, well, that's neat, but the water should be above the island so we don't see this square. But that looks really pretty. I mean, I turned anti-aliasing off, guys, so please forgive the noise there. So that water object, we'd want to grab that and lift it up. What's throwing me is that the water is represented by this little tiny square here, but obviously it goes off to infinity, which is pretty cool. Now, if we go back to this button here, says that's to create terrain. Here's create like a stone, edit the terrain object. Oh, wow. Okay. So there's our little terrain and we have like an airbrush over here. Very, very Photoshop-y. That's what I was wondering. If I left click, it's painting. You can look over here, guys. If you look down to the left as I paint, it's actually like sculpting the terrain, which is interesting. So if I take this level down, is that going to put, yeah, okay, that's going to, that makes sense. So black, this is like a height map. All right, so this is like a height map creator. Okay, so if you've done that, and then you notice, by the way, there's that timeline. I'm sure you can create keyframes that way, right? You could come over here and set a key. And I don't know how long this frame range is. There's a little time slider here. So we set a key. So now we've got keyframes. So let's go here and let's like completely erode the terrain down, right? Let's just do craziness. Boom, look at that, total flat top. So now if we come here and we go to our timeline, yeah, look at that. See what it's doing? Did you see that? That little change that happened? Let me hit play, see if this works. So yeah, that was quick, but you can see the terrain is going from, it's kind of a little mild rocky terrain to just completely flat. So that's neat. I mean, I really apologize. I know this is the most basic, simplistic example of me showing Bryce. This is not an example of Bryce that would sell anyone on the product. But remember, I have no idea what I'm doing. I haven't even looked at a manual or documentation. I'm literally just opening this up and I'm clicking buttons to see what it does. So you're just go along for the ride, guys. I mean, you can watch another YouTube video and maybe just listen to me in the background and then every now and then flip over and see what he's doing. Hey, look what Q's done. He's created a pile of poop in the middle of some water there. Yeah, that took 24 seconds, but that's neat. I mean, look, you've got sculpting that's animatable. You couldn't do that and Vista Pro. You couldn't animate over time like that with this. That's really cool. And obviously, if you spend more time and learn these tools and know what you're doing, could be a lot more deep layers to this animation system that I am not even getting close to looking at. Like, look at this little, look, Enter Advanced Motion Lab. Look at this. What is this? This is all kinds of stuff going here. I'm already terrified. I have no idea what this is. You know, that's why we have instruction manuals that you need to read. But anyway, I wanted to load up Bryce and see if I could do something. And I did do something, so I feel good about it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this brief. I know it was quick. I said it was going to be a speed run. I installed a PowerPC emulator on my ARM-based Mac so I could run an old version of Mac OS that was PowerPC capable. I, of course, had to show you my token Lightwave real fast. I didn't even really do anything with that. But then I wanted to get to Bryce and look at this Bryce program. And there are numerous better videos on YouTube than mine. I did want to at least experience, maybe I should have done this as a live stream and then you guys could have laughed at me that way or maybe coached me along the way. But I did want to at least make this and have you guys witness what I go through sometimes. And I'm like, what is that software they're talking about? Maybe I should try that. And this time I decided to actually record me doing it. Whether that was a good idea, I'll leave it up to you guys. I'll have to see what the view counts are in this one. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.